Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, it's so good to have you here. You guys know that I love you. Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about a video that I came across of a white woman. I think she's a teacher. She stated in the video that she's a teacher, basically exposing why white women are, in quotes, jealous of black women. I don't know. Let's hear what she has to say.
I have a theory about why black women and white women are having such a hard time getting along, and it starts with a story. When I first started teaching, I was in a teacher training program with 3 other women. 2 of them were black and 1 of them was Indian, and we started teaching at the same school, the same grade, at the same time. One of these women, a black woman, completely excelled. She did so much better than I did at literally everything. Classroom management, her test scores were high. She was excellent at literally everything. And something about her excellence didn't sit right with me. I just didn't feel good about it, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't feel good about it. It was internalized racism, but I didn't know that yet. So I had to sit with this idea of her being better than me and trying to figure out why it didn't feel good and feel comfortable for me. And of course, at the time, I didn't know that I needed to do the work of anti-racism, so I didn't think it was possibly because I could have internalized racism. I had to do a lot of study and thought about myself and what could possibly be making me feel this way about this woman. And here's what I discovered. Most of the media that I had consumed up to that point in my life had white people as the central characters. And the shows and other media that I consumed that had white women at the central characters often had black women as the side characters. These black women's role in these movies was to assist the white women, support the white women, advise the white women, but never to rise above the white women. Even shows that were about black women, like The Help, had white women as the central character and the black women as supporting characters. So I internalized the idea that black women were there to support me and to advise me, but not to rise above or become better than me. And that's why when this black teacher was way better and more talented than me, I felt some kind of way about it. Now, I'd imagine lots and lots more white women have also internalized the same idea, and that's why they feel okay stealing black women's content and not giving them any credit, because the black women are just there to advise them anyway. But most black women are natural leaders. Society has forced them to become leaders, and so we need to step aside and let them lead, even if it means checking our privilege and letting them lead us.
You don't really see videos like that every day of white women coming out to talk about how they realized that they were racist or they had internalized prejudices against black people. And you can see the comment section is mostly filled with black people saying things like this. Let me just play a few reactions from people who had something to say about her video.
I have a theory about why black women and white women are having such a hard time getting...
I have a theory about white people who decide to theorize their dislike for black people as if the answer isn't just plain old race. Black women and white women aren't having a hard time getting along. White women are racist. Black women are trying to navigate through racist spaces, and unfortunately they have to deal with people like you who decide that it's necessary to theorize your dislike for black people instead of just saying, yeah, it was plain up racism. And then to follow that up with that you saw in the media that white people were the main character and black women were the side characters. I mean, doesn't art imitate life? You didn't learn it from media. You learned it from life. Why do you guys shift the blame? Why can't you don't even say in general that you're racist. You said you internalize racism, and that feels like a symptom of white guilt. The over-theorizing and then not just being able to say, I was being racist.
Something about her excellence didn't sit right with me. I just didn't feel good about it.
It was so refreshing to listen to that her TikTok. Take some time to listen to all of it. So there she was exposing how when she worked with a black woman and an Indian, the black woman excelled in everything, but something about it didn't sit right with her because she had been programmed to see the black woman beneath her. Now here's my own personal experience in corporate America. I've interviewed with people who I was more qualified than. They were interviewing me to come in as a junior. I could perceive that they felt threatened. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. White people. I've also worked in places where, because I'm African and dark-skinned, whenever I said something, as a coach that I was, whenever I suggested a way forward, the manager, one was Egyptian, white. He would push it under the rug. He would openly reprimand me and tell me not to make changes. Then somebody else, who was not a coach, who I was coaching, would suggest the same thing. 2 people, white people. And then he would take their suggestions. It happened over time and it felt like gaslighting. I became so uncomfortable that I went to the HR. Of course, HR was white and nothing was done about it. So, this is something that needs to be talked about, especially when people are talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. There's a bias that is in there somewhere that when you realize you have that bias, like she has done, you go and work on yourself. Many people don't. Now, don't get me wrong. I've also worked in a team where 2 people were very aggressive, a man and a woman, white woman, a white man and a white woman. And they would be so loud when they're discussing. Now, when I did the same thing, the white guy would say, I don't want to talk about this. I'm done. The white woman would do the same thing. But when it's between them, it was okay. Yes, there was a white guy who on my team told me, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. Sometimes I don't know why they do this. And as a white male, I know I don't have to do anything to move forward. I appreciate what you're doing. He took some time out to acknowledge that. So for those people who are excelling, who have been invited to the table, who are dark-skinned, and they think these things don't exist, please, they do. She's told her story. Please listen to it.
It was internalized racism, but I didn't know that yet.
I have a theory as well. Hear me out. This doesn't have as much to do with race as it does toxic femininity. That's my theory. Going from my experiences, women seem to be pretty competitive, jealous, and spiteful. And typically, it doesn't really matter which race, color, skin, whatever they have. So, women are just interesting. And I'm not here to discuss race. I'm here to talk about toxic femininity because I think that it really is a huge problem in our society. But you probably should ask yourself the question, if she was any other race, ethnicity, even if she was white like you, how would you handle it then?
When this black teacher was way better and more talented than me.
Black women, please be careful, because the moment you elevate is the exact moment that they will try to bring you right back down to where they think you belong. And I've got a story time because it happened to me and it still pisses me off till this day. So I used to run a toddler group in South London and it was going really well. I wrote a lot of the songs myself and it was in areas like Clapham, Wimbledon. So you know the type of mums that were coming to the class. And yeah, it was going so well. And then suddenly I got an email from this lady saying, hi, I also run a toddler group at the same time as yours in the same kind of area. Can you change your classes? Well, no, because my classes are going really well. Why would I do that? And I wrote back in the email like, of course, no, I can't do that in the moment, but there's no need to feel threatened. There's plenty of mums and babies to go around in Clapham. Suddenly, I got a 1-star Google review on my business page. A day later, I got another 1-star review. And it was really stupid because they were writing 5-star reviews on her business page. So I was like, well, you're making it obvious that it's coming from you here. Anyway, I got my lawyer friend involved, and she stopped writing the letters, obviously, because she definitely felt threatened with my lawyer. And COVID happened and my business kind of changed anyway. But there were other toddler groups happening in that area at the same time. However, I was the only black toddler group happening in that area at the same time. So I thought to myself, if I was a white woman, she would not be messaging me and she would not be telling me to move my classes to another day. But the moment that they start to realize, you start stepping on their spaces, they will try to bring you right back down to where they think you belong. And I'm telling you now, be very careful out there, because they will do it in the most spiteful way.
I have a theory about why black women and white women.
This video has been circulating a lot, but there's another side to what she's explaining. So now, not only do black women have to deal with white women and their insecurities, we also have to deal with colorism. So if I'm a dark complected woman working, let's say, in an office, and a white woman is feeling insecure because she believes that I'm supposed to be under her. So now I have to deal with that gaslighting and all the things that come along with that. And then I have to also deal with my own people, a lighter skinned black woman feeling like I'm supposed to be underneath her. So I've experienced that, where a white woman angry because she thought that I was supposed to be dumb, I was supposed to be illiterate, or I wasn't fit for the job, I'm supposed to be under her. And then I had to deal with the lighter skinned black woman feeling the same way. So not only do the black community, black women, have to deal with white women and their insecurities, we have to deal with our own women and lighter skinned women with their insecurities. There are some black women that you don't even know are black, but we know they're black. They're really light, and a lot of white people see them as not that black, so they treat them a little better. They pit us against each other. So be careful, black women.
I just didn't feel good about it.
So I kept getting tagged in this video, and I think this woman speaks to a video I did outlining my encounter with DEI Debbie. And I said in that video that white women don't have a problem listening to black women. They have a problem reporting to black women. They have a problem with black women managing them. And I think this woman's video, and if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, highlights what I said. And I've always known this. The work that I do in company culture and DEI, I see this dynamic play out all the time. And white people giving it another name or calling it something else, or saying, I'm not sure why I feel uncomfortable, or somebody's making me feel bad for being white, and all of the things. And it comes down to white people see themselves as the central character in American society, and everybody else is a sidekick to them. And this is how white women, white men in corporate America continue to wield psychological violence against black people and people of color, indigenous people. This is how you use and wield psychological violence. You gaslight people and tell them it is not what they believe it to be. It is not what they are experiencing. It is something else. So I am very heartened to see this video from a white woman being very frank and honest and calling it what it is. We see ourselves as the central and main characters, and everybody else is a sidekick to us. And as long as white people see themselves as the central and main character, they will continue to wield psychological violence towards people in the workplace and people in society as a whole.
So apparently, from the reaction and from the stitches that I've played just now, you guys can see that this is not an uncommon scenario. It's not an uncommon phenomenon where in an institution, maybe work-wise and all of that, corporate sector, whatever it is, and then because you're a black person, you're not expected to do as well, or there's a limit to how well you can go. They want you to do well, but don't do as well as the other people, the palm-colored folks. Like, why do we have a restriction on how good we can be, or to the lengths we can go career-wise because of our skin color? It's just crazy to me. Like, you know, this whole scenario can be likened to, I have something in my head. Let me explain. For instance, now you have a rich kid and then you have a not so rich kid, a poor kid sort of from a poor home, you know, a poor family, and a rich kid that has all the privileges and all of that. And then let's just say in 20 years time, these kids get to reconnect. Of course, they are grown adults now, and then they meet and they kind of like have a discussion. And then the rich kid, who turns out to just be an average man, you know, he's not doing exceptionally well or anything, turns out to meet the poor kid who is now extra, you know, very successful and all of that, and he's doing so well. And the rich kid feels like, I was better than you, I'm more privileged than you, you have no right to be doing better than me. That is what this whole scenario reminds me of, because they have, these palm color people have some certain privileges and all of that. And even with history and all of that, they've always been in that position of privilege, so they kind of expect to always do better than black people. And the funny thing is, that's not how the world works. So I hope every palm color person out there gets this dose of reality. They get this moment of rude awakening to realize that success or achievement is not restricted to your skin color. You shouldn't feel intimidated by a black person doing well. If anything, that should encourage you to like sit up and make use of those privileges that you have, because black people are not going to dull their shine just to make you feel good about yourself. And cheers to every black person that is out there doing well despite all the challenges that we've had put in our way. We're doing well, we're breaking boundaries, we're breaking generational curses, getting those degrees, excelling in our careers, just black excellence all round. I want to say a big thumbs up and kudos to every black person that is putting our name on the map, every black person that is flying the flag high. I love to see black people excel, and that was why I liked this video, because some people are threatened and I'm not bothered. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of happy about it because yeah, I like to see black people do well. Anyway, you guys let me know in the comment section, have you had any such experience like that at your workplace, at your school, or whatever? Please let us know in the comment section. Let's have a discussion. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like my kind of content. Also, turn on the notification. That way, YouTube is going to let you guys know whenever I drop a new video. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.